Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Gladiator Manager. It's episode number 5. We're into our second time going up against Dyrrhachium, who are the league leaders. They are undefeated, and they have no one who is out wounded. They're not taking any wounds at all. They've lost a single fighter in a single fight. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was either Naeus, who's only been involved in one fight, or one of these two, Spurius or Claudia, who have only been in a couple fights each. That's their secondary group. One of either Spurius or Claudia will be called into this fight, and then their top two fighters, undefeated and destroying everybody, Paulina and Publius. Publius, I know, was one of the ones we faced when we went up against him last time. It was a 2v2. I think it might have been Paulina and Publius, which was why they were so dominant, and they had us down in 2 strikes. Publius will be gone soon. 3 fights left for them until they have served their sentence. Paulina has 10 left. That's going to get them through most of this season, though. So they are going to be very, very tough to catch up to. However, later part of the season, they will be without those top 2 fighters. So we do have a small chance, anyway, of gaining some ground on them. And in fact, of their 2 next best fighters, Spurius is also a criminal with just 3 fights left in them. So they are going to be losing a lot of their top fighters. But they've got a lot of quality. I mean, you look at Josie Body. Josie's okay. Hasn't even been used yet. So they will have some replacements, but they won't be of the same quality. When we get Aelia back, which isn't going to be for a while, will she be the same fighter? Right now, her stats are showing that she's pretty badly wounded. When she recovers, will she be the same fighter she once was, or will she lose some of her skills as a result of the wound? It can affect the characters. So what we're going to do this time is I could pick my 3 best. And we would have a tiny chance of coming out ahead. But considering that their top 2 fighters are better than our top fighter and our top fighter is wounded, our chances of winning that fight would be minimal. So their top 2 would be definitely stronger than our top 2. And then our third would be a little stronger than their third. And that would be our only chance. Take out their third quickly, where the other 2 survive for a while and defend. And then press the advantage 2-on-1 to try to slowly work out one of them, where the other one, again, trying to just survive. Then, once you get down to the final one, press the attack and go on, 3 versus 1 and win the fight. Chances are, though, especially based on their record, that they'd have us down very quickly. With that being said, I'm not going to risk my top fighters, especially when, like, say, Izzy only has 9 more fights. Oksana has 8 more fights. So a lot of our top fighters aren't permanent. We have a slave. There we go. The 3 choices we would make, the top 3, are all on a limited number of fights. And they're probably going to lose. They might get wounded. So why risk it? We're going to sacrifice this one. We are going to lose. But we're going to put in 3 fighters who I want gone. 3 fighters who have upcoming expiring contracts. So Fred, criminal, 10 fights left. We have Celeste, criminal, 17, but she's the one who's very old and deteriorating, so we might as well put her out there. Hopefully she dies. And then finally Sammy, criminal, just 3 fights. Not much quality other than initiative is really it. So I'm completely content with any of them getting wounded or killed in this fight, and I'm more interested in their contracts counting down so that we can get rid of them. This absolutely, though, is going to go straight into Quicksim. This is not the fight that I need to take on. They're going to lose, and I don't care how ugly it ends up getting. So there you go. There's the 3-0, as expected. Paulina and Publius were there with Ralph Waverly, so that it looks like they dug deep and picked a third who was pretty weak. Sammy fought okay. Celeste fought okay. Fred yielded. Nobody died. Our popularity actually increased, so that's good. Our reputation did not take a big drop. And we took out a little bit of money, so that was okay. Okay, so new round of recruits are available. That's good. Unfortunately, nobody died, but whatever. Animatia, toughness goes +8. Millie is back from her wound. Aelia improved. Renovacious is aging, so we're going to have to get him into his fights pretty soon. He's going to be one of our top selections for the next little while. Araminum is who we face next. They're 7th overall, so that should be favorable for us. It is a 4v4, so it won't be the easiest one to pick out where we're at. We don't lose a position in that one, as we had a 2-match advantage over the chasing pack. And you could see now we're getting some real separation in terms of the league and who are the better teams versus the others. Serbium finally picked up a win, 1-10 now. But you've got the bottom 5 are all losing almost every match, and I think all of their wins are probably coming internally. And then you have these next 2 that are definitely losing to the top teams. And then probably pretty even with one another. And then we're in that next tier where we're in between. We're not quite there with the top 2. We're slightly better than the 2 below us. And then we're significantly better than the bottom 5. But we're still not quite fully emerging and not quite even with those top 2. And Ovalava is definitely a step below Dyrrhachium. Those 2 are just ridiculously strong. But expiring contracts, near future. One of them, I believe, is now down to just 2 fights left before they're gone. That's going to lower their quality. Of course, they could go out and find other gladiators, but of that quality for our level, probably not likely. They're probably not going to see an equivalent replacement. So they will get easier as the season goes on. It's just, will we be close enough to make up the ground? And Ovalava is one that we're not far off from. So maybe we can get to the point where we can overtake them in the near future. And then as Dyrrhachium loses their momentum second half of the season, that gives us a chance. We're going to get stronger and stronger as time goes on if we play smart. Losing Aelia hurt, but she will be back. Okay, so Fred out with a wound. Celeste is out, and Sammy is out. Let's see if it's possible now to fire any of them. Oh, he's only out for a few days. How about Celeste? So, severed leg. Please let me fire her. Yes, okay. Celeste is gone. It was the length that she is out. Fred's the other one, right? Okay, Fred we can't get rid of. Right? Yeah. Okay, well, we were able to get rid of one of the 3, so that's good. We don't have to see her constant deterioration. Not that she was a terrible fighter or anything, but she was just never going to be what we needed her to be. She was already 3 stars and has since dropped to 2.5. So looking at our new options, Osborne looks like a pretty dang decent fighter. A veteran, but he's at 38. He's going to lose some quality. And we could just afford him, just barely. But I have no idea. I have no idea how exactly good he is. Spurious, no. Lichno, Faustina, Sanapano. Really, we're only seeing quality in the 1 so far. Florence Ardley, 43, 2.5 stars, and expensive. No, thank you. Okay, now, here's one of those might be worth it. Let's check out the other 2 and then come back. And there's another one too, Roxy. Compare those 2 and see if one of them is something we want. There's no real other choices. They're both barbarian class, similar age. It does look like Terras might actually be a little bit better and is cheaper for recruitment. We could spend 3,000 and get both of them. I'm going to wait at least a week though and see if we can learn a little more about those 2. But there was up to 3 potential signings from that group and nothing immediately jumping out as a group you want to bring in. So 4v4 coming up. Holy cow, they have a beast. Oh my goodness, they haven't even been in a fight yet. It's a citizen that they brought in a few weeks ago. Damn, they're good. And there's another one who is incredible. Neither has been in a fight, but we're looking at 2 very, very, very strong fighters. And then that's it. I mean, there's nothing left in terms of choices for them. So they're dipping down to the bottom of the barrel. Those 2 are going to be ridiculously hard to beat, though. Primus is almost certainly going to be 3rd choice. Their 4th choice is going to be super weak. Probably Gala has been picked before. But those 2, which clearly based on their schedules, are new acquisitions. And man, oh man, that is worrying because those 2 look like we're going to have a really hard time knocking them out. The other 2, we can get them out quickly and just survive face to face with those, the 2 stronger ones. If we can survive, and then 2v1 and 2v1, I like our chances there, as we should be able to put together 4 decent fighters like Izzy and Oksana. Millie's an option. Redivicius. That's 3. Demisha's probably a little too weak. You've got either Millie. Probably Millie. It's hard to say who to get for the 4th one right now. It would be nice if we have Aelia. Really surprising. They pulled the move that I just used on our previous fight. Sacrificing. They're saving those 2. Yet again, neither one has been involved in a fight. So really surprising that neither has been selected. They could have made this a very, very difficult fight for us. And instead, they bring in 4 weaker characters. And yeah, I like our chances against these 4. As in, we should come out on top quite easily. Now let's try to look at matchups anyway, so we don't find ourselves at a disadvantage. So we got to make sure we're not up against a rogue. There's one rogue, and you have an advantage against a gladiator, so we definitely want to shift right. Try to get you engaged with Primus, who's trying to engage with you anyway. Okay, you are a gladiator. There is a leader, but we also have another gladiator here in Izzy. And so it doesn't matter who you fight necessarily. We can get Izzy up against that leader. And we got to make sure you're not taking on the barbarian, but otherwise that should do it. I think if I can flip these two and then just slide everybody over, we should be able to get the placement we want. So we'll swap those two and then try to match up with them. Hopefully they don't do any swapping. And we take one small scratch, but otherwise it looks like we've been able to make all the movements we wanted. I want to shift both of those two now, and then we want to get these two engaged. So charge in. 18 damage to the right leg. We somehow made them angry. Take a little damage there. We inflict 24 leg damage. Alright, so we have advantage here. However, at the moment it's 2-on-1, so we'll play defensive this turn. But here we will go just with the prod. Damage both ways. We were able to disarm Pompeia by blocking her attack, so that was nice. Alright, we got our swap. Move in. Ooh, how is it that you're... That's the first time I've seen them engaged when they're not directly in front of each other. Yeah, I don't like that we're kind of mismatched at the moment. So, disengage. Okay, they're not able to block there. Damage to the left hand. They're not able to block there. Okay, we trapped them into engagement. That's good. We were able to disengage here. Okay, we're going to go for the net and try to get a stronger advantage on that one. And then we want you to be defensive for now. Got through that one. 26 torso damage. They're trying to disengage. Oh, Oksana, what did you do? She did her own thing. She used a skill move and disengaged. Not sure why she did that when she was in control of the fight. Now we gotta just move back. Go for the pin. I think this Gala might be going down fairly soon. Lacerated calf. Okay, you now have the advantage. 19 left arm damage. 9 right leg. Okay, took a tiny amount of damage to get back into position, which was just silly in the first place. And that one's out. So you can move over to help. Alright, you've got the advantage again, so we'll go that way, even though you're now kind of lagging behind a little bit, so yeah, you need energy. Recover a little bit. In fact, we have some fatigue. Go ahead and prod even though you're behind. Oh yes, nice. Really defensive. Take a swipe. These two finish her off. She's angry and fallen. Didn't block. Left leg damage. Hopefully she doesn't go down. Left leg damage. Nice. Major left leg damage. She tried to get up. That one's out. Sweet. 2 on 1. 2 on 1. This will be over soon. I actually do want you to rest and defend for this turn. And then, because they have serious control advantage and both of you are struggling a little bit. But we'll continue to press the advantage on this. Blocked. Where's that support move? There it is. We hurt him when he tried to attack us. Right. And now we've got some control back, so you're gonna do that, you're gonna do that. And let's try to finish these two off. Boy, nothing doing that time. There it is, 747 to the torso. Surprised if she's still in the fight after that. Oh! Uh-oh. Did she just lose her arm? Falls unconscious. That seems to be max. I don't think you get more damage than that. There we go, 60 torso damage. Finally making some progress, and he's out. Alright, 4-0. Millie is injured. That's okay, she was the weakest of the four. She did not fight well. The other three certainly did. And now, after 12 rounds, we are 9-3. We're a third of the way through the season, and we're still in range. We're still close. It's definitely a tight contest in the promotion playoff positions, and that might be as high as we get. But like I said, Dyrrhachium, they're getting close to losing one of those. Very close, very, very close to losing one of those top fighters, and not that far off from losing the second one. And then their quality is going to drop significantly. But we just saw a team way down near the bottom of the standings suddenly has 2 high-quality gladiators that they've added to their roster. So that is absolutely a thing. They are not just idle. They are picking up new fighters as well. And at some point, we're going to run into that as a little bit of a problem that will hold us up. Oof, a lot of deaths in the arena this last week. Animatia initiative goes +6. So she's having a nice little period here where she is improving rapidly. Take a look at the barracks once more. So we have Izzy, who just had her first fight. We have 8 more, so she'll be around for a little while. Esther, unfortunately, a real waste of space. We'll probably let her go when possible. Oksana. Oksana's pretty good, but she's old. She's done well. She's got 7 fights left in her. Aelia will be back before too long. She won't be out long. We only have 3 that are out, and 2 of them are relatively insignificant. Rudavicius is going to be kind of the main one filling in, I think, for Aelia for the next little bit, because the age, and Oksana, those 2 are going to be taking most of the fights on for the next little bit, as A, they have a bit of quality, and B, they have age that's causing them to deteriorate, so we need to use them while we can. Kind of figuring out those intricacies of what we have. Sammy, just 2 fights left in them, so we'll try to get them out of the way on one of these 4v4s or 3v3s when we have a strong advantage, and use them up so we can finally say farewell. And otherwise, we're certainly not in bad shape. And we have some options out there. Osborne, again, looks like one of those good choices, but it's really hard to say just yet. We need to wait that week or 2 more and kind of see just how good are they. And then, let's see, it was Terrace, still don't know anything, or Roxy. Those are the other 2. There is no fixture the next week, so we can move forward and maybe see if we have that coming up where we're going to be able to. Fred and Millie are both back available, so there's a good thing. Again, no fixture this week. So looking at those 3 one more time. Osborne, we seem to know a little bit more, and again, fairly good, but 38. Not a fan of that. These 2 are much younger. I still don't know enough. I'm not sure it's improving, but that seems to be one more thing than we had the week before. So we might not be taking any of them unless we know enough information. But there's, again, no fixture this week, so we can take one more week, push forward, and get to know how we're looking. Okay, Vizantio, that's the 4th place side. That could be a tough fight for us. Did we just do the 4v4? So we have a 1v1 coming up with Vizantio. Their champion might be pretty good, and we are without our champion, so could actually be in a little bit of trouble for this next fight. Speed +2 for Animatia. Again, we've gotten her into just a single fight so far, and I think she's getting almost to that point where we can start squeezing her into a good 3v3 or 4v4, but at the moment we've been thinking more about the expiring contracts and trying to get them out of the way. But so far so good. 9-3. Honestly, much better than I expected, especially when we took our first look at the roster. We have 1 quality fighter and nothing else. And Aelia got us through that first fight, and then we immediately lost the second fight because we didn't have any extra help. But it turns out that just happened to be by far the best. Terratium finally took another loss, but again, that was the 4v4 round. So it's that 4th fighter. It's that drop-off point where they are weak. But again, that's the top 2 fighters that are just ridiculously good. And then they drop off from there. So I'm guessing they probably used that top fighter again, which means they only have about 1 fight left in them. So they'll be gone in the next round or 2. And then the other one's going to be down to 4 or 5 fights remaining. So sooner rather than later. And hopefully by time we get around to facing them the 3rd time, they'll be long gone and we'll be able to get one back. Pull back away from that lead, and they'll start to struggle a bit. And our odds go up significantly. Other than Aelia being out, who is the only one out right now. She is the only one who's out at the moment. So there you go. How is she doing at the moment? 43 days still. 43. It's going to take a little while before we get her back. She'll be out through the next round, I think. So we'll see how that next round goes. But facing a lot of the mid-tier teams in the next round, which means it's going to be a little tougher getting through that next round. But again, we have more depth, much more depth than we had. I think we'll be okay. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.